it's just extraordinary that we are now 23 years into professional rugby and we are still having back page headlines, which is Prem Rugby is about to split from. Is that extraordinary, or am I naive in thinking that is?
No, you're not. I don't think you're naive, Alec. I just think that we are still a young professional sport. When you look at where we would be then in American football, we're somewhere in the late 50s. Compared with where how long they've been professional. They've thrown this out here as well to create some furore and all these sort of things, to force various hands and to get deals done. And
it comes off the back of the CVC injection of 200 million. Is that an amazing thing for the Premiership, or is it?
I haven't seen the detail of it all. You've seen lots of people that are anti and lots of people that are pro. I mean, bottom line is a lot of the Prem clubs are going to get additional funding now.
Yeah.
But this is all connected. This is not just a standalone argument. I think that we'll look back at this and see that this. You can see how this will all get joined up.
Is that what you think? Everything is the plates. The stars are beginning to align as opposed to the plate tectonics beginning to rub.
Yeah, I think so. And I think they're obviously. I think Prem Rugby are making some bold moves at the moment, and they're obviously not getting what they want to behind closed doors with the RFU. So they've leaked. They've gone, and there'll be something else that will happen, I'm sure, and this will continue to run around for the next few weeks.
I will say, I think Ben's point about actually rugby isn't as professional as it's made out to be. I don't think. I still think there's so much room for improvement across the board. Not necessarily talk about the finances and the complicated stuff, just the approach to things, some of the coaching, some of the recovery, all these bits. And we've talked about in other shows about the S&C, some of the research. There's still players, there's still people operating within professional rugby who have had that crossover from amateur to professional, and people don't necessarily know how to be professional. It's a learning curve, and it takes time to develop. We're still, for a long period of time, we're quite close-knit rugby. Rugby used to shun a lot of things. Stay very humble. Don't do this. It's all about this. Don't develop yourself as a player. Don't do stuff off the field. Don't. Everyone's got to do the same program. Everyone's got to do different program. Don't do too many weights. Be bigger. Be smaller. We're all still trying to find our feet. We've got all these piles of data and GPS information, heart rate monitors, and all this kind of stuff. But even nutrition, I think, in rugby still behind. You've still got really fat rugby players. And I just don't...
Like who?
I can't think off the top of my head, but I just don't think... There's obviously a balance between certain positions requiring that, but really fat, out of shape rugby players, it's just not... There's no need for it. You just don't need to have that. I think the psychological part of rugby's there. I think the way players are managed, but things with agents, the way deals are done, the way that kind of stuff done. I think we're still, we're behind professional football in this country, and we're behind lots of things.
Yeah, by a long way.
Yeah, and I think if you ask some players, I won't mention, there's one player in particular who I've spoken to who feels quite strongly about this, and it's just interesting because he has, almost seen a bit of some of the football world and seen bits and pieces, and. It's just interesting. He says those things. And I know, having dealt with these things, you're still, even on a commercial perspective, there's still an amateur feel about a lot of the things we do. So, if you were to... Am I just concerned, whatever you do, you've got to have the right people in place. And we talked about the commercial side of rugby and why, whether it's a viable business. And you get a lot of these people who come from other areas. And I've always had it where you get someone who goes, I used to be at F1, now running the commercial thing in rugby. I was like, if you're any good, you'd still be in F1, because F1's the biggest commercial thing in the world. Why would you come down for less money, or why would you do that? So I genuinely think we're still a game that's evolving. I just hope the people in charge make the right decisions with that in mind, and we don't believe that we're the finished articles. I really don't think we are. No,
well, maybe this will lead to it, that we can... But the problem is, the people that are making the decisions have all got invested. Just you can't sack yourself, and or either looking for a return or actually going, do you know what, I'm actually not as good as I think I am, and we've got people that aren't as good either. And James is absolutely right. In all the other professional sports, especially in North America and in professional football, we are a long way behind